Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into the hidden infrastructure of your home and its never-ending battle against the Ohio elements. You know, we spend so much time obsessing over paint colors or front yard landscaping, but there is an absolute marvel of engineering right beneath our feet and behind our drywall. Today, we're zeroing in on the unique plumbing challenges faced by the residents of Reading, Ohio, and we're going to uncover the fascinating, almost hidden science that goes into keeping our water flowing and our homes totally safe.
So let's take a quick look at our agenda for today. We're starting off with Reading's perfect plumbing storm. Then we'll look at aging pipes, the geometry of good plumbing, DIY versus professional fixes, and we'll wrap up with a 3-step service process.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Reading's perfect plumbing storm, or as I like to call it, man versus nature in Ohio.
Okay, so your home's plumbing is actually fighting this high-stakes, invisible war against the local environment every single day. We just turn on the tap and expect a perfect flow of water, right? But getting it there and safely taking the waste away is a literal battle. In Reading, there are 4 specific environmental enemies constantly testing your home. First up, between November and March, we get hit hard by these massive freeze-thaw cycles. Temperatures plunge below freezing at night and shoot back up during the day, which puts immense stress on supply lines. Second, we've got the clay soil near the Mill Creek Valley. When it gets wet, it expands. When it dries, it contracts. The shifting literally moves foundation slabs and snaps underground sewer lines in half. Third, if you're near the Little Miami River corridor, you're dealing with high water tables, especially during those heavy spring rains. And finally, that hard municipal water from Greater Cincinnati Waterworks, it is just loaded with minerals. These aren't just abstract ideas, these are the exact reasons your pipes crack, your basement floods, and your appliances just give up the ghost.
So how do we fight back? Well, to combat those brutal freeze-thaw cycles, Hamilton County Code actually requires outdoor lines to be buried a full 36 inches deep just to survive. It's known as the frost depth defense. This isn't just a suggestion, it's a strict legal requirement, because anything shallower is completely vulnerable to the cold. When water freezes, it expands, and it will effortlessly split solid copper and PEX lines right open. The real catastrophe, though, happens when that ice finally melts and water comes flooding through the break. That 36-inch trench? It's literally the invisible shield protecting your home from the Ohio winter.
Moving right along to Section 2, Aging Pipes and Hard Water. This is where 1950s homes meet modern demands.
When we zoom in on our historic housing stock around here, think about those gorgeous 1950s and 60s homes in neighborhoods like Sycamore Estates. We see exactly how time compounds these environmental issues. Every single symptom in your house tells a story. If you turn on your faucet and see brown water, or if you're dealing with low pressure, well, homes built before 1970 mostly used galvanized steel pipes that literally rust from the inside out. Wondering why your water heater died 5 years earlier than it should have? That's the hard Cincinnati water depositing minerals that just eat away the tank and burn out the heating elements. Dealing with a terrifying sewer backup, you can blame the clay soil shifting and cracking older pipes, basically rolling out the red carpet for tree roots to infiltrate the line. And those frustrating sump pump failures, they map directly back to the high water tables of the Little Miami River during spring rains.
Okay, on to Section 3, and this is a really fascinating one, the geometry of good plumbing. It's all about the insider math of trade secrets.
You know, you might think plumbing is just about turning wrenches or lugging heavy equipment around, but to truly control water and waste, you have to master the angles. Take the 135-degree rule. This is a brilliant trade secret that prevents hair and grease from clogging by completely eliminating aggressive 90-degree bends. Think about it. If wastewater hits a sharp, hard 90-degree corner, it instantly loses momentum and debris just gets trapped. By using 2 45-degree fittings instead, professionals create a much gentler 135-degree slope. This ensures that hair, soap buildup, and grease just glide right on through. It's literally fluid dynamics applied directly to your home's infrastructure.
And honestly, this strict adherence to geometry and the Ohio plumbing codes is exactly what separates a licensed master professional from a weekend DIY warrior. A pro isn't just gluing PVC pipes together and hoping for the best. They are actively calculating flow rates, venting requirements, and precise angles to make sure gravity and water pressure are working in perfect harmony.
And check this out. To navigate around tricky obstacles like floor joists or foundation walls, pros use something called the 1.414 rule. They leverage the exact geometric ratios of 45-degree triangles to perfectly order their materials. When a pipe needs to shift over, you can't just guess the length of the diagonal pipe you need. Because the angles are 45 degrees, you simply multiply the horizontal offset distance by 1.414. It is pure Pythagorean theorem in action. This exact math prevents measurement errors, saves on really expensive materials, and guarantees a flawless, leak-free fit.
Let's jump into Section 4, DIY versus professional fixes, or the true cost of expertise.
We all love saving a little money, right? But in the world of plumbing, a cheap fix can quickly lead to an absolute disaster. While swapping out a simple faucet aerator or unclogging a basic drain is a perfectly fine DIY project, tackling gas lines, soldering, or major sewer work often results in messes that cost triple the original price to fix. A licensed professional definitely comes with upfront costs, but they bring proper tools, they pull the necessary Hamilton County permits, they ensure code compliance, and crucially, they carry liability insurance. The hidden cost of DIY isn't just the cheap materials you bought at the hardware store. It's the severe water damage to your ceilings, the mold, the code violations that will totally stop you from selling your house later, and the hard reality that you're probably going to end up paying a professional emergency rates to fix your mistake anyway.
Because of this intense specialized knowledge, plus the sheer physical demands and the stress of emergency calls, a skilled master plumber here in Ohio can absolutely earn over $100,000 a year. And when you think about it, they earn every single penny. I mean, they're crawling through tight, freezing spaces, deadlifting heavy water heaters, diagnosing incredibly complex hidden leaks, and rushing over to homes at 2 a.m. to stop active flooding. They really hold the keys to maintaining the sanitation and safety of our entire community.
All right, that brings us to our final section, Section 5, the 3-step service process, focusing on transparent logistics.
Let's see how Keystone Plumbing actually organizes all this amazing expertise into a seamless, stress-free process for the Reading community. When a pipe bursts, panic usually sets in, but they use a highly transparent 3-step process to manage the chaos. Step 1 is immediate dispatch. You get an accurate ETA, not one of those vague 4-hour windows. Step 2 puts you fully in control. The technician explains the exact geometry or failure that happened in plain English and gives you the price before they even touch a wrench. And Step 3 is the execution, a code-compliant repair that is thoroughly tested to make sure it holds pressure, followed by a complete cleanup of the area. It turns a wildly chaotic emergency into a totally predictable, managed project.
Their absolute commitment to honest pricing means there are zero surprise inflation charges. The absolute last thing you want when dealing with a ruptured pipe ruining your drywall at 2 a.m. is a technician hitting you with hidden emergency rates or mysterious upcharges at the end of the job. Upfront pricing just means peace of mind. To wrap up our explainer today, I really want to leave you with this final thought. Is your home's hidden infrastructure quietly losing the battle against Ohio's elements? Whether it's the expanding clay soil putting immense pressure on your sewer lines, the hard municipal water slowly calcifying your water heater, or an aggressive 90-degree pipe joint just waiting to clog up, your plumbing is telling a story. By understanding the local environment, the history of your home, and the brilliant geometry behind it all, you are so much better prepared to protect your investment. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive into the anatomy of a breakdown.